long time ago I came up with this windscreen wiper mechanism, and one thing I never managed to get working was park. So I've been investigating that, and unlike most, for example, Leyland systems where you keep a wire live and then it will keep going, but otherwise it will park, this one isn't like that at all. It's from a Ford Focus, I think it's a Focus Mk2, and there's 4 pins on the connector on the motor, and I haven't got the plug, of course, so what I did was I soldered wires directly onto the plug, so you can't take too much notice of the 4 wire colour codes here, which should be fine as long as I know which one does what. Now down here you can see the 4 wires going in, so you've got black, green, blue, red. This is looking into the socket on the motor from above. That's the operating arm here. So I don't know what pin numbers that relates to, but that's the order that they go into the socket down there. So let's see what each of them does. So I'll be messing around to find out what that is. What I've discovered is that there's 3 wires that are important and one that is kind of unknown, which is this green one. Let's see. And what I've established is that this is slow speed, so we need the positive connection down there going to the black wire, and the negative one going to the blue wire. And don't forget, this doesn't bear any resemblance to the pin numbers, so that is I'm going to have to check that. That is the 2 pins furthest to the left when viewed from above. And then when we go to the red wire, so that's slow speed, that's the only one that's changed. We have fast wipe, and that is positive going to the leftmost wire and the negative going to the red wire, which is in fact the far right one when viewed from above. Okay, so we have fast and slow speeds. So the question is, what happens on the green wire? Well, nothing is the answer. The green wire doesn't do anything, and is therefore the green wire here, which is in fact the second one from the left when viewed from above, that one doesn't do anything. So the question is, what happens when I put a meter on it? So we're searching for what happens to the green wire, which is the second one from the left when you look from above on the plug. And you can see there's definitely something happening, but there's no way that I can tell what that is. The meter doesn't react anything like fast enough to tell me what's actually occurring. So what we need, and it just so happens I have one, is an oscilloscope. Let me see if I can do that. What I have determined is this. I've put a little pocket oscilloscope on it. Can you see that? And the green wire, which is one of the pins, is putting a little pulse. Can you see it going past the screen? Every once in a cycle. And that presumably corresponds to park. So what I need to do is use that pulse to switch the thing off. Well, that's with it running fast speed, so that isn't affected, which is good news. And I should just reverse the wires, see what difference that makes. Now I've reversed all the wires, The motor itself doesn't care which way round it operates, as it goes backwards and forwards just the same. But what we have here showing we've got a negative pulse now, but that's just reflective of the fact that things wired up back to front. It's not going to ground at the bottom, it's going to negative 12 because it's back to front. Ground is somewhere in the middle. So yeah, it doesn't make any difference to my belief, as it were, that what we need to do is switch a relay on this downwards pulse. All the wiggly stuff is just noise, I'm pretty certain, and a relay won't care about the noise. It's either on or it's off, and it's only off for about, or only switched for about 200 milliseconds. Anyway, let's see if we can turn this into something of a circuit. So the first thing I've done is to connect a relay in between that green wire, which is the second one from the left looking from above on the plug, just to see if there's enough voltage there to actually switch a relay, which is important. So let's see. I've just done that, and here is my relay. Now, can you hear it? There's a lot of noise going on in the background, but indeed it is switching, and that's the first in my step-by-step approach. So it does appear there is actually an easier way to understand this. Who knew? Yes, the green wire is the park sense wire, so I was right about that. And I was also right to get the colour codes the way around I did, because I must have looked it up 2 years ago, whenever it was I did this. So in fact, reading from left to right from above, it's black, green, blue, red, but in actual fact that is in reverse order. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that 4 is earth, which it is. 1 and 2 are fast and slow, and 3 is sense. But what's the but? But the way they lay it out on the circuit diagram goes 3, 2, 4, 1. I've copied this from a PDF. So that makes it slightly less sensical than it is in reality. Anyway, the park switch, the green wire, goes to earth once every cycle, and that's what could make the thing switch off. But as you can see in a moment, it's not that simple. So watch the effect of this. Now what you can hear is the relay is making a noise. It's trying to switch off, but the problem is it's not stopping. You see it's pausing. That's because there's enough inertia in the system, considering it only interrupts for about 200 milliseconds. There's enough inertia in the system for it to carry around under its own speed. But for now, I think we've established where the parking position is. And you can see it's on that side of the screen, but that's very easily sorted out. I just need to change the position of the cam. So I'll just undo this bolt here. Right, so we shall now move it round to here, reattach the cam, and that should be it. Or maybe more sophistication isn't needed. There's two things not quite right, three things possibly, that is not quite right at the minute. The wiper's running off the screen. The wiring is set to fast wipe. Well, that's two things really, isn't it? Running off the screen, so it means the motor has an easier time obviously to work. It's also running on fast wipe speed, which again is not conducive to the thing coming to rest because it's spinning faster in the first place. So I'm going to try that again. I'm going to swap my wire over so it's running on slow wipe. After all, when you come down from fast wipe to 0, you're coming through slow wipe on the way, so it never goes from fast wipe to park, in actual fact. So let's try that. And I just need to swap a wire over here, and we'll be in a position to test it again. Okay, there we have it. So we've now got the slow wipe or medium wipe speed connected up. Rather than the red one, which is over here. Got the power on to the power side of the relay, and we've got the negative on the negative down there. So let's well, first of all, let's see what happens with the wipers off the screen. Okay, so we do still have that vibrating noise, but in actual fact it did actually stop in the end. So what happens now, if I put the wipers onto the screen, now this might upset a few people, however this screen is going to have to be replaced before long, so let's not worry about too much. Okay. All right. Aha! Aha! Well, there you go. Just a bit of extra loading. And we have parking windscreen wipers. And they're even parking on the right side. So that, actually, that's pretty good, isn't it? It's running on fast, even though it's a slow connection. That's because I'm running on a battery charger. It's got a higher voltage. So that's another thing that's not quite representative. To be honest, chaps, so I went down to normal voltage. I reckon that's good enough.